So this lesson is on braid hairstyle. Open the braid file that we used in previous lesson, the wrist mesh 1. We are going to make a braid hairstyle, or in trial we call it T20 Kilion. So let me load the reference image here. After I load the reference here, you can take a look. This braid hairstyle. As you see, the braid hairstyle have different layer, which depend with the style, but let me explain these two. So on a braid hairstyle, we can have different layer. Say here we have a main braid and this one, and then we have this little hair, at the root for the braid. So in here we have two layers. We have the main braid, then we have these roots, the same to this one. And here, as you see, we have this main braid, then we have this supporting or roots of braid, and maybe you can have different another layer of this little baby hair. So you can have those kind of layers, and here we only have two layers. This main braid layer, then you have this roots hair for the braid. We are going to make this braid hairstyle, and for stylized hairstyle we are going to make this one or this one, but mainly let's make this one is more complicated compared to this. So in here we'll learn different tip on creating this hairstyle. As here you see, we have this main braid, thereafter we have these roots for the braid. After that we have the another layer, which are this hair. It's like a fade. So we'll create this hairstyle and this hairstyle. So let's start. I'll disable the previous hairstyle, Spiral Hairstyle. Then I'll create a new collection, call it Big Braid Hairstyle. So in here we'll choose our scalp, then we'll create this one strand and the next one. So here select the scalp, then I'll shift A to add a new curve, hair curve, empty hair. The empty curve, I'll copy the name and paste it here. Thereafter I'll go for the braid hairstyle curve. I'll go into scope mode and I'll try to add. See here, it's being added, but remember, prove the setting length, shape and point. Length is 0.5, point 15. Let's try, but if length 0.5, let's use 0.5, and look for the direction of your first hair guide. It's somewhere above the left eye, so put it here somewhere here. And then we'll comb it to take this shape. So use our brush and put the length at maximum. So we'll reduce the length a little bit. Use this brush. This is enough. Then we'll continue combing it. Here we go with the first shape. So, but remember here, let me put it .tl. I need them to be separate for each side. And another step, I'll select my scalp, then I'll go into Shift A, I'll add a new empty hair, then I'll paste the name Big Braid Hairstyle.tr. After that, I'll go into scope mode, then I'll add a new, and this one here next to the left one, so I'll add it here. So after adding, I'll start to comb. I'll reduce the length a little bit. After combing the guide, I come to the geometry node editor, paste code modifier and add a new geometry node. and here it need to be above, so I choose this name and I'll paste it here. Add new, paste it here. The big braid hairstyle tutorial, the first thing that we'll do, we'll add curve profile, shift A, go to curve hair, then light curve profile, and here we need our curve profile to be 0.1. So like this, we'll use a duplicate node, geometry generation, go add a duplicate, we'll reduce the radius like this 0.01, and we'll put duplicate amount to 100. Thereafter, we come to add the braid. Come to hair, then guide, then braid hair curve. Here, braid hair curve. The first thing we need to do, subdivision. We increase subdivision to 3. Then braid start, it is on 0.1, but we need our braid to immediately start from the lot. So we'll reduce it to 0.05. There you see 0.025, like this. After that, we can play with the frequency, and I think one frequency is enough. And the thickness shape leave it at 0. But you see the rotation of our hair guide is a little bit off, so we need it to tilt a little bit. So we go into edit mode, you select both point and Control T. We need it to tilt with this direction. Yes, this is good. And maybe here on top, from here to here, Control T, Control T again. I'll tilt like this. After doing so, down here, we go into edit mode. We can choose this point, the root, and because we need our hair to penetrate into our scalp, so we'll extrude a little bit. Extrude just one. Yes, we'll have something like that, and you can push it forward a little bit, and let's look at it. Yes, here it's not sharp as previous, so leave it there and go into scope. The scope, we can brush it a little bit. Need it to be above our scalp. You will choose this point and Control T. Yes, I'll tilt a little bit and choose this one. Control T. After that, one thing that we need to do is to control the shape of our braid. This braid will be controlled on radius. So in here, radius, search for float curve. Maybe, let me not search it, but come here, go to utilities, and utilities, come to then mask, come to float curve. We'll shape this to form the braid style that you want. Want the root to be small, then tip to be small, but here in the middle want to be large. So we'll drop it here, radius, and here, because this is a curve, we need to control it with the curve parameter. So here we'll search for, we go into curves, we come to lead, curve parameter, spline parameter, here it is. Then you connect factor to length. After that, you can tweak the shape. As you see here, but and you can see, you can tweak like this. You see what we get. And another thing, we need to multiply our curve. So we'll come to utilities, find mass, choose mass, then here we'll use multiply. We'll drop a little bit, and then we'll start to shape our curve here. See how the shape, and you can play here with the flip with the shape. Point 0.25. Then you can reduce here a little bit. See what we get. After doing so, this is what we get, and you can reduce a little bit. Let's set here, and remember the radius of the root here, the scale, can be reduced on our duplicate node. Let this here. You see what we get. So we leave it at 0.005. Yeah, this is okay. So this is what we get. So because this is the braid hairstyle.l, we need to reapply it here. So we choose our right braid, then go into the modifier panel, add a new geometry node. This geometry node need to be above the surface deform, and here I'll search for braid hairstyle.l, but I'll duplicate it and put .r. I change it to be .r because I want to control differently this shape. So in here, we can tweak a shape a little bit different. Can reduce it. Yes, this is enough. And even here, we can reduce it a little bit here. Let's add a little bit. And we can scope it a little more. So I'll use comb brush. Move it on top. And choose the light braid. Also comb it a little bit. They can add the length a little bit more. What I want to do, I want to drop it here, add the length a little bit. Then I'll choose this one. I'll go into scope. Next you can do, remember, we need to add this braid root. So we'll select our scope, and then Shift A, we add curve, new hair curve, empty hair curve. Then this one, let's choose the name and paste it here. Big braid hairstyle. After adding it, we're going to scope mode, and then here we'll start adding hair guide to come over here. So we'll shift, we'll use a add brush, and we'll drop it here. Yes, this length is enough, and we'll start combing it like this. 1 here, 2, 3. So in continue, I'll add next top here, and I'll come back when I'm done adding this braid root. So after adding the hair guide, now we're done. I've already added the hair guide to the entire scalp, and we have the hair guide, the light one, and hair guide, the left one. And here we'll add, let's add it, finish here, add just one hair guide here. See too long, comb it, and we'll reduce its length. They can even pull it back a little bit and pull it here. Let me finish the last one here, and I'll comb it to face this direction. I'll reduce its length there. So after adding the hair guide, the next step is we need to come into our geometry node editor. So here, let me copy the name. Here we'll add a new geometry node. Need to be above the surface deform, and we'll paste it the name here. And here we'll create a new geometry node. And here, and when you are done, you start to see mistakes. So here I'll comb it a little bit. So in here, in geometry node, the first thing that we'll do, it will add hair curve profile. Curve profile, I put it at 0.1. 0.1. Here we see our hair profile. And either we can add other geometry, other hair guide, or we can duplicate. So I'll use a duplicate, come to generation, duplicate, then you reduce the radius like that. So it is 0.01, enable, let's able to. So another step, we can add amount of duplicate here to 100, and you see the hair guide are not, the duplicate are not attracting to the surface. So next thing we need to add, we'll come to utility, add attach hair curve to surface. Then here we'll choose our scalp, hair scalp, this one. But remember to copy the name, then come to your, with this one left, and then in here we said on surface UV map, just rename the attribute, paste the name here. Now here it is. What next we can do, because you see the radius, the hair guide fill all the gap, there's no gap, but in here we can try to add the radius here to let's say 15. This is now, but not on this part. So in this part we'll add another hair, but we can leave it at 0.1. And what I'll do, we'll fill this gap with more hair guide. So we can reduce this to 0.01, 0.01, like that, and then we can duplicate it to 200. Thereafter, here we'll keep adding the hair guide. Here we'll add, and now remember to enable on our curve shape, remember to enable shape. So we'll add here, here we'll add, and here we'll add, and I'll increase the length a little bit. Here I'll add, I'll keep adding to fill these gaps, and I can push it like this. So now we're done adding the left part. The next thing that we can do, because you see this here, this duplicate hair are so straight, what we can do, we can add a noise modifier, a noise node, come to deformation and come to freeze. So freeze will disable cumulative offset, and you can play with the factor. Let's say space factor. Yes, but factor I'll leave at 1, and I'll reduce the shape. I want noise to start directly from the root. So I'll leave at 0.1, and the next thing I'll reduce the distance 0.0005, 0.002, 0.001. Yeah, this noise enough. Now we can reduce it to more 0.05. So this is enough. So the same node that we used here, we can even copy this name. Then I'll come to the left root. In here, I'll add, and to come to your modifier panel, I'll add a new geometry node, put it above the surface deform, and search for the name root braid hairstyle.tl. But you will duplicate it, and in here we'll put R. So we'll do the same as on left side. We'll fill these gaps with small guide. So we'll come to add, start fill this gap. Here I'll complete. And remember, we need to have this line. So if I go in top, I want my line to come. From this part like this. So I'll keep adding this here to this side. Here I'll add, and I'll increase the length a little bit. So next thing, put them here a little bit. So put them here like this. So this is how you add a braid hairstyle in Blender, and here you can keep adding, but you see this gap. So I can select this, can select this one where it is. It's this one, yes. And I need to reduce the length, and maybe we can, yes. And over here I need to add one, yes, like this. And here try to fill all the gap. So after adding the roots of our hair braid and playing with the geometry node editor, so now we can disable the scalp. Okay, so now it's good, and let's disable this annotation. Then there is areas that we can keep adding, like this pointer scene. Can keep adding the hair guide. So here add, and here on light you can add a little bit. Yes, this is enough. Come put this down. So I think this is enough. What we can do next, we can test to render it to see if there is any gap. Here we can play with, let's say the shape is okay, but we see the hair strands are apart a little bit, so we can increase the duplicate here from 2000 to, let's say, 3000. This is enough, and it here to 3000. So I think this is enough. And the next thing that we need to do, we need to add material. So we select to come to material panel, then we look for hair, this hair, and this one here, this one here. So after adding this hair, let's look. Here you can add a little bit. Next we can add another layer. We need this little piece here coming front. So we select our scalp. After selecting our scalp, we add Shift A, add a new and here. We'll name it to Baby Fuzz Hairstyle, and then we'll go directly into scope mode, and we'll add just few. In here I want to use X mirror, so I'll add here one. So this is how you do it. So I'll pause and come back when I've added this frizz little hair. So after adding the hair guide, what next? We need to come, let's copy this name. In modifier panel, we need to add a new geometry node above the surface, and we will keep the name to Baby Frizz Hairstyle. So first thing, we'll add a curve profile, right hair curve profile, and remember it is 0.01 like this, and we can keep duplicating this thing here, but let me use a duplicate node. Come to generation, duplicate, and we'll reduce the radius just to 0.05. They are still on air, so 2.5. I think this is enough, and we need just a little of them, so amount will leave at 5. And another thing that we can, let me disable the hair scalp. Another thing that we can make, we can use a freeze node. So come to deformation, add a freeze, and in freeze we just reduce the freeze distance 0.05, 0.25, 0.1, and let me cumulative offset 0.1. Shape let's leave at 0.1. And I still think this is too much. Let cumulative offset, yes. Let's use the cumulative list, because without cumulative the noise is so sharp. So leave at cumulative offset, and we'll keep reducing to 0.05, 0.75. I think this is enough, so we'll even come to material and add a hair. And you see this one are not very noticeable, so we can even play with it. It's a factor with the radius, so radius is 0.05, you see, so we'll leave it at 0.05. And another thing, see here we see a gap, so we come into scope mode, And here I'll add few of them like this, just a little bit. Then here and here I can, let's say, select this mid one and reduce its length a little bit like this, and what one, and I want to push it up a little bit, so we have some sort of randomness of flyaway hair. Here we are good. So this is how we make a braid hairstyle in Blender. So next we make this stylized braid hairstyle. So see you in the next one.